Yo. Some poems. I'll close it out with some Mark Fisher Ghost of My Life, because that's what we're reading for the Beyond Linguistics reading group right now. So that will be fun. Is anyone reading this with us? You reading it, Robert? Nice. Good. It's a good book. This is my first time going through it, actually. I read a lot of his K-punk stuff, and I had read Capitalist Realism before. So yeah, it's been. I really have enjoyed it. Let's see. Perhaps only a satisfaction involved in the pursuit of returning. In space, nature was on films, motivated by a rogue blog spot promising a millenarian use of only in black confidence, refreshing contrast. My CGI was omniscient, except for a scene where I remarked upon scenes playing a marketing scheme. Standard action flicks of a movie genre inevitably haunted my contrast between social democracy and a dream world, 60s psychedelia. Some dumb action sequence marooned me in pop music effectiveness. Dreams between proper insomnia and epistemological void. The first film manipulated rhythmic dances, carnality, and grottos between junior boys' songs not hitting that stain of place. Suddenly, I realized a whole other helpless mill factory. I couldn't help but wonder what digital copies they were showing. The album sounded like all sorts of funny voices, rave dances. My dad went into the hospital. I started jazz, but then all of a sudden a television studio drizzled piano out a pensive daydream. Cooked up amateur stops being dry exercises for this sometimes a place beneficial train with noise. Cybernetic appearance of contemplative quietness, miniature radio pieces, further processing, compact arrangements. I apply a certain fascination between being always interested and a cyclical period of childhood functional fictionality. Paradoxical impulse of foreground first steps bureaucracy, benevolent sampling prodigy. Advisory circle parentalism, audio-visual, next way soaring, flattering kind of acoustic instrument. Barely a synth, marked by medieval familiar sounds, context which are fictional, measured humanistic blues privilege. What kind of hatred accelerated rather than authored a skipped emphasis of earth? Full-on shock. We're talking about skin-tingling, enticing, beloving, hankering, anxious, graveyard unmarked aftermath. We're talking about that. No memory, either way, access this just ahead, slack, Danny, slack, play, record, footsteps, higher place, etymological echoes, Freud, this domestic scene of tolerance and terror, family pains, greasy, plastered relationship fantasy, listening to neologisms, uncover dispossession, a not all memory electronic texture distingling my will to die between days being bested, record both VHS tapes and stairs to heaven, stars shining, different eras more forgotten. What is your age? A keyword, energy, sophisticated memory, stranger organizing opportunities, dance floors, clubs, no time, Middle West, fascinated memory, louder, faster, harder, description, perfect, capturing, mashups. This cultural postmodern Midwest midwife mistook features between going between a kid and a portal, wombs now present in a haunted ballroom. I had a day job that actually reminded me giraffes sound like statues. Audio spectrals, melancholia, burial, mourning, London on life. It seems to have less to do with snatches of plaintive vocal skitter lingering over sublime infernality, but entertainment came to mean more than Christmas and Margaret Thatcher. I oversaw the disc where he died, molesting ticket fames to melodramatic excess, the Ripper's victim between celebrity and reducted pig establishment. No more courageous than winning that was offered between competing procedures, carnivalesque license, piece, extraordinarily novel transition, themselves allowed eliminated found objects narrating consumer society between orientation and libidinal peace novels, innocent means embedded in a text, born out of the wreckage, social consciousness, heroic identification, myself nostalgic for a cop show about violence and becoming a real star to blow up a suspect. It would be my accommodation to abduct suddenly a culture of confidence. Why not? Is this real? Sam Tyler once said the show maintained pointless gloss. I was being a little cryptic of the point being that, brought to the roles, you would go to a gray MC image of branded goods distractingly available to remark suggestions, most notably that, keeping with the character all fixed between contradictions, apparel is hope for something special, pace and pacing, moving, products, produce, voiding the soul, division, crooner, perform. There is no point. A methodology lost in convincing sounds of damaged syntopathic slow responses repeating themselves, increasingly clear, ferocious expressionism. To promise to be modern is to a certain degree permanently altered from ghost elacated on animated life, booming mind in assemblage, relentless flow, leave behind the flight, jungle was a moment. Popular music, culture around me, democracy, Thatcher, no improvement, dress, culture, digital, dwelling, communism, finished, life, Derrida, despite rhetoric, hungering for love again, once again. No Star Wars film could produce a technically nostalgic texture comparing to casual intolerance. That's a weird ending. But thank you for joining me for poetry and weird poetry. Comrades, psychonauts.